Yo, what's up, gamers? It's your boy Loza here with my Dark Magician deck from Locals. This is the more Red Eyes Fusion focused build. I went 2-1 at Locals. It felt really good today. Ref never got ashed because, you know, it's the format to not play Ash. So let's get into it. My new field center, very cute, little smug Terriermon. We're going to go through the monsters. We've got 2 DM and 2 Red Eyes. Yes, this seems capped. Think about it. You would normally play Dark Magician Girl here, so that's pretty much what I've gone for. I just said, what if Dark Magician Girl, but better, to be honest. Like, you can play Ref twice. It's broken. So yeah, I'm really liking this, to be honest. And every time I drew like too many Red Eyes or the other cards you're going to see coming up soon that seem a bit bricky, I just put them back with Illusion of Chaos and it was fine. So off the bat, 4 bricks. You hate to see it, but it is what it is. So this is the boy who will let you put those bricks back. Just 2 of him. I was playing 3, but I had to cut for room, which is, you know, how it be sometimes. AAA Magician Souls. I barely ever use this, and if I did search it, it just sat in my hand, but we'll get to it all later. AAA Rod. This card was actually really good because I normally discard it for Dragoon Negate, and then Eternal Soul out DM, and Tribute DM grab the Rod back, so good value here with Rod. It's good discard for Dragoon. There's not many things that are a good discard for Dragoon, but I found Rod was good. 1 Timaeus. Timaeus was cool. No, it wasn't. I lie. I summoned Timaeus once and it got flirted. So yeah, I just wish that I had a negate in my hand that I could use before ref. So that's pretty much going to be the summary of this video. 1 Wyvern because we are playing Insight, which is what we'll get into right now. Monster lineup was good. The thing is, I didn't really use these cards today. I used Illusion of Chaos, and I fused with these. These kind of just sat in my hand and were my turn 2 plays after my opponent couldn't out the Dragoon and Floodgates I had. So, you know, everyone be like, oh, you can't just sit on 1 Dragoon, Loza, like, it's not good, or it doesn't hold up this format. I disagree. I highly disagree. Most decks don't know how to deal with Dragoons still, so I had a good time. All right, getting into the spells, just wham, bam, thank you, man. Triple Insight into triple ref. Like, just Dragoon. Like, go get it. We're sending Wyvern for the Insight. You could always send the second Red Eyes, but you really don't want to. Yes, once you play this, the rest are dead and vice versa. My games did not go longer than a couple of turns today. Like, by turn 2 or 3, most things were sorted and the game was clearly going to be one way or another. So I never found like this was too many or whatever you might argue. It was fine.Maybe if I versed a grindy deck, it would matter. Today I versed Flunderees, I versed Branded, and I versed Sword Soul. So I did dodge the Tirashizu matchups, but you know what? I think these would be fine in the Tirashizu matchups because stuff is going to get milled. And hopefully with the 2 Red Eyes, one of them doesn't get milled. That's another reason to play the double Red Eyes, which some people might disagree with, but I actually really liked it. This build has done better than every other build so far, this format, in my opinion at least. Getting into some of the tech cards, we've got the Call by the Grave because it combos so well with the engine you can see right here, the Red Eyes engine. Call by very good. Upstart synergized with the DM engine, so that's really cool. And this is pretty much all consistency from here, like Upstart into Allure. And then we've got the double prep, so that's to grab yourself that beautiful Illusion of Chaos there. And Allure because we've got a lot of darks that we can cycle except for these 2. Everything else you can cycle, and if you have more than one of like a bunch of these, like it's irrelevant, so you just allure them away because we need to draw into these pieces here. Sadly, we can't like Soul Servant stack Red Eyes Fusion, but you know, then we'd be chilling because it would probably be DM Fusion. I'm just going to move these up a little bit, and we're going to look at Terraforming and Village. This stuff wins you games. Like going second, it's dead. That's why it's just a one-of, because it's actually highly searchable in theory with the Terraforming and the Village. Plus, this can go grab your Salvation, which we are playing one of, and we'll get to very soon. We've got the DM package, so I'll just move this up so it's kind of its own section. The DM package is going to be Circle, triple Soul Servant, 1 Secrets, 1 Salvation, 1 Eternal. This is what I played, and you know what? Going back to 1-1 of these felt really good. Like, yeah, one game this got Cosmic Cyclone, but you know what? That game was over anyway. So it was very easy to manipulate my resources with like this in mind. I don't know. I just had a really good time focusing on like what I needed to draw, like what Allure needed to get me, blah, blah, blah. it felt really good, like not doubling up on like any of these cards. Secrets actually did really good today. There was 2 times where I fused my Dragoon into a new Dragoon. So there was a couple of games where I had Dragoon out and I'd already used its negate, an Eternal Soul out the DM, and Circle would banish something, and I flipped up Secrets because I was like, you know what, they're not going to have an out for this because this identifies as Red Eyes when it's summoned off Red Eyes fusion. So then I was able to Secrets into a new Dragoon, and that Dragoon still has the 2 pops. Sorry, it only has 1 pop because it was only summoned off R1 vanilla. Sorry, that's a lie. Has 1 pop, but it's still got the negate, which is the important part. So in the opponent's turn, I was able to get a Circle Banish, a Dragoon negate, and then like I just already used a Dragoon negate. So I had essentially 3 negates. Didn't draw any of my floodgates that game. Oh, maybe that was the game I had Village. I forget. I can't remember. But yeah, you get the idea. It's very oppressive, especially when there's floodgates and other things to consider. And I really dug that. So let's get on to those floodgates. Going to make this a quick profile. We've got the, the triple goes in. I really like this over Rivalry. Like you can play Rivalry too, but I feel like this hits like Flunder better, right? Like goes in, sorry, Rivalry doesn't hit Flunder. This does, so I really like that. Another aspect is this is good into pretty much everything Rivalry is good into. There's probably 1 or 2 things I'm missing, but yeah, good into Sword Soul as well. Double skill drain. This does conflict a bit with Dragoon, which is why it's at a lower number here. And playing the 5 floodgates means you normally open 1 in your opening hand. Not always, but you know, you're more likely to see them. The worst thing is when you open too many of these and like no engine starters. Like sometimes you'll open like 1 rod in these, and that rod will get negated, so you feel pretty bad. You can recycle that rod though with the Artemis. But man, do I have a story about this 15 card extra deck. I'm very keen to tell you all. So that is the end of the main. So I guess it's time to get into that funny side deck meme. So here is the first 2 cards of the extra deck. 2 Dragoon. Here's the other 13. Go ahead and throw them away because all night I only ever summon these. In 3 rounds of playing, I think most games went to game 3. Yep, every game went to game 3. This is all I summoned. I didn't even summon Artemis today, and I'm super adamant on playing Artemis. I didn't even summon it today. Most games are just ref or nothing. This format, Rod and Souls, like they're just getting negated or they're just not resolving. Like it's just ref or nothing, this format. And like I might have to go more Red Eyes in the main deck monsters, which sounds really dumb because playing Illusion of Chaos means you can fix the bricks. And that's the thing. You can see there's a lot of bricks in that main, but they were always fixed. I never bricked too hard and they were always fixed. Anyway, we'll go to the other 13 cards of the extract that didn't get played because Dragoon is pretty much all you need. I actually had a scenario where I wanted a 3rd one today, so go figure. Maybe it will get bumped up. 1 Artemis because, you know, you link away your Rod and you're being chillin'. Link Spider and I am Duck to link away DM to loop that. I was playing Link Karibo and Relinquish Anima as Link 1s. Also, I had Black Metal in there for a brief period, but I took it out because I was like, nah, screw it, I won't play it yet, but I'm thinking about going back to it. IP with the Unicorn. Once again, didn't come up, but it's a nice thing to have. Then we've got the Dark Access Code Selene kind of engine. Cool engine once again. And check it, we've got 3 DM fusions that just don't get summoned, do they? There was the option to summon them, and I always just could make Dragoon. So it was kind of like, well, when you can make all of them, the best option's normally this one. There was another time where I could have made Dragon Knight, but I just used the Timaeus to swing for game instead. So I was like, well, this is probably the better thing to do. So yeah, super interesting that like this entire extra deck is basically useless, but that does sound a lot like Dark Magician. Am I right, gamers? So yeah, honestly, considering bumping up Dragoon to a 3, this build was able to pump out the Dragoon so quickly that there was a time where I wanted a 3rd today, and you know what? If I'm really not using the rest of this, surely I can just easily take out Link Karibo, put in a 3rd Dragoon. I guess the biggest issue is I'll need to buy one off someone at locals, but that's cool. I can do that. I want to do the side deck. I don't normally do side decks, but I have a super spicy tech in here. This tech actually won me 2 of the matches I played today, 2 of the game 3s. Unfortunately, I lost to Flunder, so I went 2-1 at locals, Flunder being my loss. Game 3, I just couldn't find a side card. I sided in the Triple Village and the Solemn Judgment. Well, you'll see it's not quite Triple Village, but there's 1 village in the main, which you've seen, or here it is right here, and the Terraforming, so that's 2 copies. Here's the 3rd copy, so essentially 3 copies, right? Couldn't draw them, and I couldn't draw this card either, unfortunately. if I'd seen either of them, it would have probably been game. Yeah, I want to say it would have. But, that's the nature of Yu-Gi-Oh! Sometimes you just don't see what you want. But here's the going first stuff. That's it. These 4 are for going first because DM's already pretty much a going first deck. But I find these are super good in games 2 and 3 when you've got a bit more knowledge of the deck. Today, I had Double Judgment Village Dragoon. This is what I had against a poor Sword Soul player, my good pal Luke. So yeah, I was able to negate something with Dragoon and then just flip up a Judgment and flip up another Judgment while under Village. And of course, that just wins you the game. Like, Judgment Dragoon is just game half the time. And 2 Judgment Village, like, oh my god, like, he nearly played through it. That's the crazy thing. If his Mo Yi was the Ecclesia, the Sword Soul Ecclesia, or the Ecclesia that starts the Sword Soul combos, if it was that, he would have beat me, which is crazy to play through 2 Judgment Dragoon Village. But there you go. Sword Soul good deck, and he's cracked at it. Anyway, that's the going first. Side stuff, this is the win in time meme for those who don't know. It's just when it's sent from field to grave, gain 1,000. Yes, it gives DM and DMG stats, but that's not why you play this. You play this to just win in time. You send it with Magician Souls for draws. So all you have to do is set it face down and go Magician Souls, send a draw. Even then, negate the Magician Souls draws, you still trigger this because it says, if this card is sent from field to grave, gain 1,000 LP. You love to see if on there. There is another option, though. You can summon out your DM, normally off the Magician Souls, which is why I say just use Magician Souls. But you can summon DM, let's say, off Eternal Soul, equip it with the magic formula, and you know what? You just link away that DM, and this goes to the bin, and then it triggers, and you gain 1,000. So it's really cool. So yeah, that's the cheeky winning in time tech. So I wouldn't necessarily call it like a going first card. I'd kind of, let's pack up this stuff. We know that ref's good and all that crap, but let's like pack it up and put it up here so we can sort out the side. So this is the going first junk, right? And then this is the win in time junk. I'll put it at the top. So it's like a pyramid. Win in time junk, going first stuff if it's relevant. And now we've got the going second jazz. We've got 1 Dark Magic attack. I'm still like kind of iffy on it, but searching it off Eternal Soul for like a Dragoon discard negate is really nice. And sometimes it's actually really good in those grindy back row matches like Labyrinth, Eldritch, Mystic Mind's gone. But anything similar to that caliber, this is good in, and we can grind it out. This card does the same, but it's not searchable, so really nice. Can force a negate. Pretty much all these next cards are either wiping field or forcing a negate. So here's where we get into, you want to see it with ref starter pack. Oh, that's the secret sauce. Change of Heart will force a negate. Imperm either forces a negate or it's negated, right? Either way, you really, really, really need to see some of these cards with ref, and that's kind of the mindset here. Impermanent ref can get you games. Change of Heart ref gets you games. Lightning Storm ref can get you games. That's kind of the whole mindset with these cards here. And we're trying to win on that turn. That's why it's not Dark Rule. A Droplet would do the job, but I always feel we don't have the cards to send for Droplet. Some people would disagree, but that's my personal opinion. I never have the cards to send. And here's the absolute spice of the day. Swords of Concealing Light. This is our Dark Ruler no more because there's no link decks in the format, really. And obviously, if you verse a link deck, just don't side it in. I feel like Yugi playing this too because it's Swords of Revealing Light. Well, it's Swords of Concealing Light. But, I feel like an anime freaking character or villain playing this because you play it against, I played it against the Sword Soul board game 3 and the Branded board game 3. You flip their freaking shit face down, or they have to negate it. I played another one against the poor Sword Soul gamer, which flipped it all face down again. And then from there, you're just able to ref because you've turned off all their negates. If you don't get ashed, of course, which I did not, so you love to see it. I guess the other thing, it hasn't happened yet because I've always won when I've drawn Swords of Concealing Light because I've always had ref with it. But I always thought Swords, you can always send it with Magician Souls to draw. That's another reason why I like it as a continuous spell. Like you could play the book of, I forget what the book is, but it's the red book that puts all your opponent's stuff face down. And then they draw for each one that gets flipped up at the end, but normally you're going to wipe their field, so they're not going to draw. But I found this just safer, for me at least. But that's my take anyway. So yeah, very big anime Loza moment here today, playing meme cards, but I enjoyed Swords of Concealing Light. Obviously, if you see it without the ref, it feels pretty bad, but lol, just see it with the ref. Today, I was able to see it with what I needed to, so it was absolutely fine. I think maxing on ways to ref is definitely the play this format. I'm thinking of even putting in, yeah, like I said, like a black metal package and finishing on like Heavenly Spheres and then next turn going for ref, like if you don't open it, ideally. But I don't know, that's just a thought, but that's going down a deep Red Eyes train. I do want to keep playing the DM stuff because you know what? Putting DM Engrave turns on your Soul Servant, which turns on like your Eternal Soul, which makes Circle viable, which like, it turns on the whole deck. It really does. Ref Resolving turns on so much of the deck and people just, I don't know, they don't want to admit it. They just don't want to know. I love this deck. It was really good today. I didn't get ashed on ref once, and that was across 3 matches. There was one person playing it, and that was Luke. Shout outs to Luke as well. It was a super good game. I only managed to cheese him in the end because he gave me actually these 2 copies of Swords of Concealing Light. So thank you to Luke. I could only find one. Big thank. He was actually our player of the year. And he also got top 32 at YCS Sydney, which was very, very recently. The one near me. Playing Sword Soul, playing the build that he was playing tonight, Sword Soul Bestial. So, you know, that's a hard deck to beat, but I was able to thanks to Swords of Concealing Light and a bit of luck, of course, lots of luck. Yeah, hoping to test that luck once again at the Tuesday night local, which is tomorrow night, and I'll give you guys an update on how that goes. Let me know what you think of the profile, though, down in the comments. I'm sure I'll get some interesting comments and roasts from this. This is a strange profile, so please feel free to dig in. It's very different. At least in terms of bricks. Like, I normally wouldn't advise the 4 bricks, but no DMG makes sense. I normally would never advise a swords card, but here I am playing it and winning because of it. So, man, I really don't know what to say. Anything can be viable depending on the format. And another reason that ref is good this format is because of the Ishizu tier junk, which luckily I didn't have to verse, but just sending the DM straight to the grave and then not caring about it because you've already got your Dragoon is just such an amazing feeling. You'll notice I have secrets and I did still have the Timaeus play. Every time I went for those today, they were normally negated. Well, the Timaeus play was negated. Secrets normally resolved. Yeah, secrets resolved today twice. The problem was the Timaeus play. It's got too many steps. And like Brand of Fusion, I love that too, but I feel like the Brand of Fusion stuff has too many steps, too many monster effects that are going to get negated. But that's, you know, my personal opinion. I still like branded builds. People who play branded builds are cool. And I'll probably do a video on a branded build at some point again soon, but I really am just liking this pure Unga Bunga ref deck. But yeah, you guys let me know what you think of Loza's good old DM deck down in the comments, and yeah, I'll catch you guys very soon. See ya. Play 3 ref.